Your discipline builds your future. Welcome to Clartify.
Why rest isn't fixing you anymore. You're not burned out. You're overloaded. If rest worked, you wouldn't still feel exhausted. That's the first uncomfortable truth. Because most people today are resting more than ever. They sleep. They take breaks. They travel. They disconnect for a few days. And yet, they come back heavier than before. Not physically, mentally. They say, I rested, so why do I still feel drained? And that question quietly terrifies them. So they assume something must be wrong with them. Burnout, lack of motivation, weak discipline, not enough passion. But what if none of that is true? What if rest isn't fixing you because rest was never the solution? What if the real problem isn't how tired you are, but why your brain never stops working? Because here's the part nobody explains. Rest pauses the system. It doesn't repair it. You can stop running. But if you're still carrying the weight, you'll stand up just as tired. And most people today are carrying something invisible. Not work. Decisions. Every day, from the moment you wake up, your brain is deciding what to check, what to respond to, what to ignore, what to postpone, what matters, what doesn't. Tiny choices, constantly. You don't feel them, but they drain you. That's why someone can do nothing all day and still feel destroyed at night, because the brain didn't rest. It reacted. That's why burnout today feels strange. There's no collapse, no breakdown, no dramatic moment, just quiet depletion. You wake up tired. You stay tired. And rest doesn't touch it. Let me tell you about someone. Not a dramatic story. A normal one. A guy in his early 30s. Stable job. Not overworked. Not depressed. He takes weekends seriously. Netflix. Scrolling. Sleep. But every Sunday night, that heaviness returns. Monday doesn't scare him. Life does. Not because it's hard, but because it never stops asking. Notifications, messages, decisions. He's not burned out. He's overloaded. And overload doesn't recover with rest. It recovers with removal. But nobody teaches that. Instead, people are told to relax more. Relaxation became the answer to a problem it cannot fix. Because the brain isn't tired from effort. It's tired from constant evaluation. Every open tab is a decision waiting. Every notification is a demand. Every maybe later stays active in the mind. That's why weekends don't reset people anymore. They don't remove anything. They just pause the noise while keeping the speakers on. The phone stays close. The mental loops stay open. So rest becomes shallow, temporary, useless. And here's the dangerous part. When rest fails, people try harder. More productivity tools, more routines, more discipline. They add structure on top of chaos. That never works. Because exhaustion today isn't from lack of effort. It's from lack of boundaries. Your brain is not designed to hold everything open. But modern life trains it to. Always available. Always reacting. Always deciding. And every decision costs energy. Even small ones. Especially small ones. That's why motivation never comes back. Motivation requires space. And space doesn't exist in an overloaded system. You don't feel unmotivated because you're lazy. You feel unmotivated because your energy is leaking everywhere. Think about it. When was the last time your mind was truly quiet? Not entertained, not distracted, quiet. Most people can't remember. Silence feels uncomfortable now. Not because it's empty, but because it reveals how tired you really are. So people avoid it. They stay busy. They call it productivity. But busyness is often just controlled panic. It looks responsible. It feels useful. But it prevents recovery. Because recovery doesn't happen when you stop working. It happens when you stop deciding. And most people never stop deciding. Even rest becomes a decision. What should I watch? What should I do next? What's the best way to relax? The brain never turns off. So the fatigue stays. This is why nights are dangerous. Not because you lack discipline, but because your energy is gone. Control is expensive. And when energy drops, the brain chooses comfort. Scrolling isn't pleasure, it's relief. Relief from choosing. Relief from effort. Relief from responsibility. And that relief feels like rest. But it's not. It's sedation. It numbs the system without healing it. That's why you wake up feeling worse. Because nothing was removed, only delayed. Real recovery begins when you simplify. Not your schedule, your inputs. The brain recovers when decisions decrease, when noise is removed, when access is limited, when expectations shrink. That's why disciplined people look calm. Not because they're stronger, because they removed more. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on design. Their environment doesn't demand constant evaluation. And that's the secret most people miss. Burnout isn't from work. It's from constant permission. Every habit exists because it's allowed. Every distraction survives because access remains. You don't need more rest. You need fewer leaks. Remove what steals attention. Remove what keeps options open. Remove what forces reaction. That's why people who simplify recover faster than people who rest. Because rest without removal is cosmetic. It feels good. It changes nothing. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Most people don't want to remove things because removal feels like loss. Loss of comfort. Loss of stimulation. Loss of excuses. But what you lose is noise. And what you gain is space. Space brings calm. And calm feels boring to overstimulated minds. But calm is where clarity lives. That's why many people unconsciously recreate chaos. They say they want peace. But peace exposes responsibility. When life is quiet, you can't blame noise. You can't blame overload. You can't blame exhaustion. You're left with yourself. And that scares people. So they stay busy. But busy doesn't build. It drains. Recovery doesn't arrive dramatically. There's no big moment. It returns quietly when decisions decrease, when access closes, when boundaries appear. One less app, one less notification, one less obligation. And slowly the brain exhales. You don't feel energized. You feel lighter. And that's how you know it's working. If rest hasn't fixed you, it's not because you failed. It's because rest was never meant to carry the whole solution. You don't need to escape life. You need to redesign it. And that starts by asking a different question. Not why am I so tired, but what am I allowing that keeps draining me? That question changes everything. Most people won't ask it. They'll keep resting harder. They always do. If you don't, this channel is for you. If this explained what you couldn't name, press like. If you're ready to protect your energy, subscribe. And comment, I remove what drains me. Why rest isn't...
Thank you for watching. If you're ready to upgrade your mind and build unshakable discipline, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. More powerful lessons are coming. Stay disciplined. Stay clarify.